Hi, my name's Stephanie Ambrosius and welcome to my review of Love Is Martina Leon, episode 3. So I'm a relationship and individual therapist and I'm on the search to find out what the definition of love is for many different couples. If you haven't already watched the episodes from Love Is Martina and Leon, please go back, watch them, like, subscribe, tell a friend. And then join me here in the review for episode 3. So I'm going to start off with a clip about something that I talk to all of my couples about during therapy. Do you still carve out time for each other like that? Do you have date night? Do you still look into each other's eyes?
We haven't done of late. In the beginning of the lockdown period, we definitely did carve out time for ourselves and say, okay, let's do a puzzle night or let's do what have you. But the thing is, we do carve out time naturally when you come home from work, the children are in bed. So it's just been the fact of maybe not making it as the setting romantic or what have you, but the time is still there.
It's really important to remember that you have to still have quality time with your partner. I think at the beginning of lockdown, a lot of couples got really inventive and tried to look for different ways to have date night in the home. And then after the second lockdown, everyone got a bit bored and ran out of ideas. And they're now struggling with ways of enjoying each other again. So sometimes you've got to think back to the things that you originally used to do when you first got together, the things that bonded you. Some people might say we used to go out dancing, we used to love hiking together, all of those sort of things that make you feel quite nostalgic about the relationship. So you have to remember to continue to do those things throughout. And I know that life changes, it has its obstacles. We might be juggling children, a career, financial difficulties, health problems, mental health. So many different things may be happening for you, but it's really important to just put that time aside to reconnect. Planning experiences together really shows commitment to the relationship, and it shows that you want to experience new things with your partner. The time that you spend together doesn't have to be lavish holidays and restaurants. Sometimes quality time or date night looks completely different to both partners. But no matter what you value, it's very important to spend that quality time alone, with your partner, with your friends, with your family, whoever it is. And for couples, it's important to really plan that time together to help you regroup and bond. As Martina and Leon mentioned, life takes over, and it's not just about having those great experiences all the time. A relationship is really about how we navigate the hard times together as well, how we make those hard decisions and how we get through those difficult experiences. So the next question I asked the couple was, what was the hardest decision you ever had to make together? And this is what they said.
Leon came to me when we had our second child and said that he wasn't too sure if he wanted to be a Christian anymore.
Okay.
And at that point, I guess because we'd entered our relationship with that foundation, I struggled with it. At that time in my life, Christianity and church was like family. So it's in a sense you're denying my family.
I often speak to couples whose interfaith relationship causes many obstacles for them. Most of the time it's two partners from different faiths who have got together, and from the beginning of their relationship they know that they share the same values and beliefs about lots of different things in their lives, but they know from the get-go that they are both from different faiths, religions, spiritual worlds. So sometimes it's hard to see eye to eye on those subjects. Although their general values and beliefs are similar, their religious views are different, and this can cause battles at any stage of the relationship. Another obstacle that I've observed is when the external family would rather their son or daughter marry someone of the same religion or faith. But it takes a while for them to come around, and they do, especially if they can see that their son or daughter still practices religious traditions, regardless of their partner's religion. However, this particular couple didn't face any of these obstacles. And if you look back to their previous videos, we learnt that Martina and Leon knew each other since they were 5 years old, and they met at church. So essentially, church as a community and culture and Christianity were all a part of their relationship journey. They entered the relationship knowing that they had the same beliefs and values and the same spiritual and religious views. Both of their external families were practicing Christians, and throughout the years they both played very active roles in the Christian community, which Martina now refers to as her family.
We definitely knocked heads for about 2 years, 3 years, I'd say, of just constant battling and talking and arguing and stuff. When you're telling me that you're not a Christian, but you don't know what you want to be or where you fit, where do I place you? And so, and then you're bringing lots of different ideas and beliefs and traditions and everything else to me. And it was just a lot to deal with. It was like, well, who is this? It's like I was having to relearn a different person.
It's so important to point out how a relationship can alter when an unconscious bond, like a shared faith and religious beliefs and values, change. So for this couple, after knowing each other as fellow Christians, it must have been really hard for Leon to tell Martina that he was going to leave something that they had always shared together. Bickering for over 2 years must have been so hard for the couple because they just couldn't see eye to eye. And when you can't see eye to eye, it's so hard to enjoy time together or plan for the future. Both partners can be left feeling misunderstood, rejected, lonely, unheard. Hence the reason why Martina said she had to get to know Leon again as a new person. He hadn't changed. He was still the same person. It goes to show how our perception of someone and how we fit them into our lives may change once their beliefs and values alter. However, it doesn't have to alter our love for the other person. It can still remain the same.
The tradition of the faith is that, you know, you marry someone who's in the faith. Would I choose to continue building a life with someone who doesn't have the same values as me in terms of the faith?
You can hear that Martina was experiencing a huge conflict. There was the understanding of Christian traditions. You must marry someone within the same faith, which she had achieved but was now changing, and she was questioning whether or not she could see a future with Leon if he didn't share the same views and beliefs as her.
I would say that was the hardest situation.
Okay.
That was a situation where we wasn't too sure whether, based on how I was operating and where you was going, I was thinking, is this going to last?
Yeah.
I think that was the only point where I would say this is like, there's going to have to be a decision made at some point in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it could go either way.
Yes.
And so I guess that was a hard decision at times. And I think the only thing that settled it probably was like a year in of us just bickering for ages was when Leon said to me, is love not enough? And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, of course it is. I was like, yes, actually it is. Like nobody believes the same thing anyway. So why am I so fixated that if you don't believe what I believe, then this is not going to work?
Our relationship wasn't built on religion. That was my point.
Yeah.
It wasn't built on the basis of anything we believe. It was built on our attraction to each other. We did have obviously some sort of common ground. We did have some sort of general understanding, and I'd say based off of that, what I thought I wanted in life, I guess largely was formulated on a belief system, which I always struggled with, to be fair with.
Yeah,
I mean, I've always been a person that always questioned everything.
It's so nice to hear the couple say that love is enough to overcome this obstacle. It sounds like they actually discussed their relationship enough to really find out what the relationship means to them. And just because this was the end of Leon's relationship with Christianity, it didn't mean that it had to be the end of their marriage. So I asked Leon if he felt supported by Martina, and this is what he said.
Oh, no, completely not. I mean, at this point, it was you do what you're doing, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
That was it. It was, yes, that's you're going to do what you want to do in your life, being a Christian. I'm not.
I think the key element, I feel, for us was that we just remained as open as we could be. Situation. So even though there would be days where I'd be like, Leon, I can't talk about this again today. I cannot talk about this new discovery or this new knowledge that you've had. I just want to chill. I just want to relax. So, but I would come back to him and then go, all right, I'm here.
Although Leon said that he didn't feel supported by Martina, it was still comforting to hear that he felt free enough to explore all religions to find out what would suit him. Although it was his decision to leave Christianity, it wasn't a decision that Leon made overnight. And leaving a religion that your friends and family share means that you risk self-isolation and some negative judgment. As they have 3 children, I was curious to hear if there was any conflict when deciding which faith they would like their children to follow.
I don't know how we're going to raise the children or what we're going to raise them to believe or think after having the children. I was like, I'm going to teach my children to do something based on what I believe through what I've been told, not based on what I know.
Right.
And I can actually say I've looked into for myself and 100% know why I'm doing this. It was like, okay, I need to figure that out. From what I've discovered, it is all about you and self.
Right.
Actually what the whole book is about, or pretty much all of the religious books, not religions themselves, but the teachers, the practices. It improves you as a person rather than just sitting there waiting for something outside of you
to happen. Yeah.
Now that I understand that for myself, I feel like I can better explain certain things to my child.
For me, with the children especially, we've kind of now raised them trying to incorporate both of our belief systems and our upbringings. I will personally use my platform of church, and that will help you to negotiate with however it works for you.
In an interfaith relationship, when you're thinking of raising a family, some of the predicaments that you may have are: do we continue to practice both religions without the children, or both with the children and incorporate all of the holidays, traditions and celebrations? Are the children old enough to decide what religion they would like to choose to practice? Is this even an option? If one parent has a stronger attachment to their faith, it may make it easier for the children to decide which one to choose. Do you understand enough about your beliefs and traditions around your faith and religion in order to teach the children? Will the way how your faith supports you and how you utilize your faith have the same benefits for your family?
At the end of the day, this is still my perspective. I don't know. Mum,
yeah.
At one point, Daddy believed what Grandma believes.
Yeah.
I no longer do, because we can change. So you may hear what I'm saying now. That doesn't mean what I'm saying is the truth. You to have different perspectives, and you decide as you evolve, as you get older.
Yes, yeah. It's important to remember that people change, and, you know, at any given time, their views, values, and beliefs may change. And if you marry someone who has decided to alter their life in a way that makes them happy, so long as it's healthy for you and your partner, our role as a partner is to support them to become the person that they would like to be, not the person who we choose for them to be.
Sometimes I think that actually Leon's journey of deciding he didn't want to go to church was more my journey in the sense of the things that he brought to me challenged me to think, what am I saying I believe actually? What am I saying I believe? Am I saying I believe this from my upbringing? Or am I saying I believe this because I believe this to be true for me? Believe in God, and just believe that there were certain things from my upbringing that it definitely helped me with. Just from a spiritual perspective, I think we're all here to be our unique selves, So that's what I'm here to do.
You can see that there was a lot of communication and self-reflection in this period of this couple's life. If you also find yourself in a predicament that's similar to this, it's very good to put some time aside with your partner to communicate exactly what this all means to you. Ask questions to understand each other's views, beliefs, and opinions. Try to listen and be as open as you can. Try not to challenge, but just be curious and explore. Whilst remaining curious and open, be patient and respectful, because you don't want this topic to turn into a sore subject that you both avoid. If you're discussing interfaith differences, individually and as a couple, really take time to sit down and think about what your faith means to you. Think of your upbringing and how it served you whilst you were growing up. Think about how it fits into your daily life now, and also talk about how it will fit into your family life. Some talk to external family members to gain a deeper understanding of their faith, and they really talk about the value that the faith has had in their lives. It's really nice to get those external family members to also talk to your partner about what their religion means to them. So remember, learning about each other's differences is something that has to happen in all relationships anyway, because everyone's an individual. So whether it's learning about your partner's different religious views, political views, you may be in an interclass relationship, an intergenerational relationship, an interracial, intercultural relationship. These are all differences and all conversations that must be had, because we have so much to learn from each other. And these are all conversations that strengthen your relationship. Thank you for watching the therapeutic review for Love Is Martina and Leon episode 3. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another episode.